everyone, and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stanley Tan, and this is a Blue Collar Wine Show where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. Washington Wine Month. We did the last episode was on red blends that I recommend at the store. It's really cool to see those red blends still showing well. I hadn't had them in a while, so it was really nice to see that yes, I recommend them, and yes, they are very good, and the quality is there. Washington Wine. Cool thing about Washington, and I've said it many times, is we, because I live here, we can do many varietals in Washington quite well. And that being said, I thought it very cool. Lately, I've been trying a couple of Gruner Veltliners from Washington State. Gruner from Washington? Really? Austria is where you find Gruner Veltliner. You can find a lot of great Gruner Veltliners from Austria. I have about 3 or 4 at the store that I sell, which is really cool. But lately I've been presented with the Gruner Veltliner from Washington State. So I'm excited to try these two from Washington State. One is from Ashley Brook and Boole, which is called Vital, and the other is Gilbert Cellars, which I'm a big fan of both of these wineries, and we'll get into those a little bit more. They're both $22. Won't hold you in suspense there. But let's get into this one. Gruner Veltliner from Washington State. So this is the Gilbert Cellars Gruner Veltliner. Let's see, 2020. They roll in at $22. This is Columbia Valley. Columbia Valley. The big appellation of Washington State, Columbia Valley. Gruner Veltliner is really cool. It's good with Asian food. It's a pretty easy to drink wine. You know, it's a little more complex than, let's say, Vinho Verde from Portugal. But it's kind of the same idea. You know, just a nice, refreshing white that you can drink on all different occasions. Great seafood wine. Good with white fish, that sort of thing. Asian noodles, you know, depending on how they're usually not very acidic. But here we go with Washington State Gruner Veltliner, and I'm going to see how they turn out, because you know you think about all the different varietals that they do in Washington State, and they're, other than Pinot Noir, which you know you don't see a lot of really great Pinot Noir coming out of Washington State, but there's a couple. I know, shout out to Michael Savage, he does a good one in Savage Grace. There's a couple other ones, but generally speaking, you don't see a lot of Pinot Noir out of Washington State. You don't see a lot of Gruner either, but let's see how these turn out. So, kind of a gold straw color right there. Let's see what we get on the nose. Oh, right off the bat, a little Asian pear and green apple. A little bit of melon as well. Let's see what we get on the palate. Good acidity, very fresh. Very fresh. The green apple notes kind of dominate underneath. Good acidity, almost mouthwatering acidity. So I wouldn't have these with Asian noodles, not at all, because the acid is a little too high for that. You don't, anything spicy, you don't want a lot of acid. But I like the melon notes, kind of like the green, maybe cassava melon, green apple, a little, just a touch of pear. Good intensity, really. There isn't too many Gruner from Austria that I feel are this intense. But I really like this wine, and I think the price of $22 is not excessive, considering they probably don't grow a lot of Gruner in Washington State. Whereas in Austria, they do grow a lot of Gruner Veltliner, and therefore you usually get around the $17 range when you get the really good ones. Sometimes they have liter bottles that you can get a really good value on, which is not uncommon to see from Austria. But to present a Gruner of this quality from Washington State is pretty impressive. Like I said, good acidity, like that green apple, melon, a little bit of white flour, a little bit of Asian pear notes. Pretty long finish. This would be a great oyster wine, mussels, clams, anything like that. I'd have this with whitefish as well. Yeah, I think it would be good with those things. Very good. I wouldn't call it a porch pounder only because of the price. I mean, you know, bless your heart if you can drink a $22 bottle of white wine and call it a porch pounder. This has more complexity, more interesting, nice wine. $22. Just really cool to taste a Gruner from Washington State. Hats off to Gilbert Cellars for going in this direction. $22. I'm going to go BB plus on this wine. I think it's solid. Let's move on. Now this is Ashley Trout's Vital Gruner Veltliner. This is $22 as well. This is Columbia Valley. I'm curious who's growing Gruner in Columbia Valley. This is 2021, so a little fresher. This is called Vital, and this is a great label, and I'll tell you why. Ashley Trout has developed this label, this particular label, where she donates the proceeds to a medical center in Walla Walla to help people that can't afford medical care. So that's a very, very altruistic goal and a very cool thing that she's doing that. Brook and Bull is her main label, and they are pretty, Brook and Bull, they're up there in the price range, but they are solid wines. So maybe you're familiar with Brook and Bull. 2021 Vital Gruner Veltliner. Proceeds go to help out people who can't afford medical services. In fact, let's just see. Wine's complete. Going down the SOS Clinic, nonprofit healthcare clinic in Walla Walla area, dedicated to helping people get the healthcare that they both need and deserve. So very cool that she does that. This is a little lighter, but it's still gold, hay gold color. Let's see what we get on the nose. This has a sweeter nose, like almost like honeysuckle, almost an orange blossom smell to it. Pretty aromatic in a sweet side, if you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying. You could spray this like almost perfumish, but in a good way. I'm going to go honeysuckle, orange blossom. Yeah, great nose on this wine. Great nose. Let's see what we get on the palate. So that orange blossom comes through, a little bit of lime comes through. White flowers, honeysuckle. Good acidity on this one as well. Solid acidity. Not as acidic as the Gilbert, but still good acidity. And that just real pleasing orange blossom, white flower, lime thing coming through on this one. Maybe just a hair, but not tart green apple like the Gilbert. Maybe a little bit of apple pearish thing going on. But again, like the lime, the orange blossom, that really cool flavors on this one. This one like dances real pretty on the palate, for lack of a better way to describe it. It's just got a lot of elegance and deep flavors to it. Kind of perfumey, but in a solid way. So I'm going to go, I've already said it, not going to say it again. This is a really solid, complex little Gruner Veltliner. Just saying. I prefer it over Gilbert. Gilbert is a great shellfish wine, very well made. I like it a lot, but this one just has all this elegance and really beautiful flavors on the palate. Almost goes like hedging towards tropical fruit. Maybe a little bit of hints of mango and papaya, that orange blossom, maybe just a touch of kiwi. Wow, wow. What inspires these guys to go to a Gruner Veltliner? Who's growing this stuff? I probably should do the research. Maybe I'll share that with you in the next episode, if I can find out who is making or growing Gruner Veltliner in Washington State. It's Columbia Valley, big appellation, the biggest appellation in Washington State, Columbia Valley. And then you have all these little guys like Yakima, Red Mountain, Walla Walla. I'm not sure if Walla Walla, yeah. Walla Walla, you know, just all these different areas inside of Columbia Valley. But what a great Gruner. I'm going to go A on that. Straight up, absolute A. Gruner Veltliner, great wine, $22. Either one I'd encourage you to seek out because they're both really good in different ways. This one's just really, really delicate and tropical and complex. Good job, Ashley Trout, and good cause, by the way. Long finish, too. Crazy. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. I hope you're enjoying these episodes on Washington State wines. I mean, we're already in the middle of March, and this will be my third episode, so I'm hoping to really get into it. I think my next episode will be on Albariño, another kind of Spanish grape. They're doing quite a bit in Washington State. It's just cool to see these different varietals that they do in Washington and how well they turn out, which is, both of these are great examples of what we can do in Washington State as far as growing cool wines that are very interesting and actually a good value. I mean, $22, not chump change, but not bad either. Thanks for taking a little time out of your day. What is your favorite kind of weird varietal from Washington State? Weird meaning different, unusual. Share in the comments. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.